Hello.
Yes, I shall we start now? Or you want
Okay.
Mr. Tony he was chatting with me on my phone, but
Oh,
more tea. Yeah,
I'll send him the new one. I'll send you the new link. You mean Tony? Hello. Hello. Uh, that's fine. That's exactly. Okay. That's no problem. Okay. She can start. They can start. Abi. Okay. Okay. You know, my track. Let him forward the. Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, all. Um, there was a serious technical pitch. It's all about technology. You know, we we the people that make up this technology, they cannot foresee uh, the side effect. Some of the side effects can be very, very bad, and when it affects people like us, like me, I start panicking. But because I've been able to go beyond that, so sometimes I don't panic anymore. I just calm down, collected, cool, and see how best to fix the problem. So you just have to bear with us. Please do not take it to bank yet and say, when I get connected to OTUNBA, who is who, or one-on-one with OTUNBA, who is who on Zoom, and the thing was just not working. No. It's neither app. It's nothing to do with. It's something to do with technology. So what I'm going to do is after this program, maybe 2023, I will not be running for presidency. I will have enough time to go and start making trouble with the funder, the provider of Zoom. So tonight, let's get started because the way things are, so the time we should have used getting this business on, some of them have been consumed by this technology hit. Let me start by saying my name is OTUNBA OLABODE. I'm a presenter for a regular program called ONEONONE with OTUNBAHOO. I've been in this business now for a while, and I've gone through the rounds. I've been trained. I started at the time training people. So the job I do most, this job of talking, is one of my favorites. I love talking. So tonight, I'm changing the narrative. I'm changing the style of just wanting to be the only one talking. For a few of us who are already, I have no doubt in my mind that more people are going to get connected and they're going to join us in this discussion. But while we are here, I want us to start talking about on and about Nigeria. I know a lot of people are saying, I'm fed up with Nigeria, I'm fed up with this, I'm fed up with that. No, there's solution to every problem. So I want people, whoever want to have the first or second, raise up your hand. There's a way, or if you go on reactions, so you have the opportunity to raise up your hand and let us hear from you. What do you think? What's going on now? And maybe others can also join, and then we can collaborate. We can start saying, oh, this is what I think about Nigeria. So I'm going to leave the floor open. Yeah, but before I do that, we're going to go on a short break. So when we come back, I'm going to start with the people I see their hands up. So the first one, second one, and so on and so forth. No, not to worry. I can see someone raising up his hand already or her hand. The problem is this: when you say iPhone is a brand. iPhone is not the name. It's not like Mr. Ikeja, Mr. Bulegba, or Mrs. Adilabu, and so on and so forth. So it's become very difficult for me. So, but if I see your hand and iPhone, so if iPhone is about 6 iPhones, so what do I do? So you might need to quickly rename your device and put a name there, whether you want to call it Mrs. Tower Bridge. It doesn't bother me. So, but we're going to go on a short break now. So when we come back, we're going to don't go away.
MOGBEDE o, oyin mama.
Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadọ́, wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
Ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa, ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.
Ọmọ abìrò kágó Àjàní wọ̀lú tí mi yàrá ẹ̀ pẹ́kẹ́pẹ́kẹ́ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ló balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí MOGBEDE lẹ́tọ̀ ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí o bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá fẹ́ sun nígbọ̀wọ́ abẹ́ fẹ́ polú ọjà nílẹ̀ ẹni àbí lókè òkun ẹ kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ̀nyí MOGBEDE ètò ní MOGBEDE ó ti balẹ̀.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back. Again, like I said in my initial introduction, I'm bringing a new idea into Zoom meeting. Yes, as you know, Zoom meeting has now been known for everything. You can do burial, you can do name ceremony, you can do send off, you can even get married, you can even start looking for girlfriends or relationships and so on and so forth. So Zoom is a fantastic idea, but then again, it depends on how we use it, we the consumers, how we use it. The idea I'm bringing into time is to allow people, my guests, my friends and family who take time to log on to this Zoom meeting to be part of the program. I want us to be interactive. I want us to start talking about those things we don't like or we like about our country, you know. So, and like I said, I'm going to go in such a way that if you want to say something, do not be shy. Please, you don't know whether your contribution tonight might be exactly what we are looking for. Who knows? So please if you go on the button that's showing you reaction, click on it. It will give you the option, the opportunity to raise up your hand. And once I see your hand up, then I will call you to say anything you want to say about Nigeria. The topic of tonight is on and about Nigeria. So you want to start Nigeria Jaga Jaga, but you should be able to justify it. And if you think it's high time, those who are dictating, who believe that enough is enough, they want to move on to the next level by creating or starting another nation to be called ABCD. Talk about it. You'll be welcome, you'll be given time. And anybody who does not want to say anything, you can still listen. I do a lot of mono. And I do most of my program, I can talk. Like I said, that's one of my passions. I can talk and say things the way I look at them. The only one good thing about me is I don't want to start hiding anything. I say the truth. I make sure I say it as it is. And I will tell you where I'm coming from. That has been very possible for me because as we speak now, I'm not collecting any support from any African countries or from any European country. I'm living here, I'm a citizen here, and the support I get here enables me to strengthen my belief in telling the truth, in saying the truth. Having said that, I'm not an angel, don't. Like I said, this is a program, our own program. You are part of this program. That's why I want you to please, don't be afraid, contribute as much as you want, say exactly what you think, come up with ideas. And if you think next time when we are going to meet, hopefully we are going to be larger in number and say, oh, this is how I think it's. I'll take anything and everything on board. So let me start with one of my guests. Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, can you unmute yourself and let us hear what you have to say? Mr. Chris, you can unmute yourself. Or the host can please unmute Mr. Chris. Oh. Mr. Chris, if you can hear me, can you just unmute yourself, and then we can all have a discussion. Yeah, Mr. Chris. Can the studio, unmute Mr. Chris, please? Host. Mr. Chris is
in progress.
Yeah, is Mr. Chris there? Or maybe, who knows? Also from experience, maybe Mr. Chris, because I can see him logging on in 2 places, maybe he just want to log on and then go and grab a cup of coffee and then come back to us, because Mr. Chris is not there. Yes. Okay. Now let me continue talking. I've no doubt in my mind. Is Mr. Chris there? No. I have no doubt in my mind that if somebody say he has nothing to say about Nigeria, I will say excuse or excuse me. No. There must be something you want to say about Nigeria. This is a country that has been either fraudulently put together the last 100 years or so. We see the country will not just going to go off the map just like that. And because I have no doubt in my mind that by the time some of us who believe in there should be another nation where fairness, justice, equity should be the watchword, should be the main preoccupation of a country. Because when you look at the problem in the country today, as we speak, is those country or just the other parts of the country that are complaining. When you listen to them and say, what exactly is your beef? What exactly is your problem? They turn around and say, can you imagine? Can you imagine part of a country that has it all, that knows so much, but they still have to wallow in poverty with other part of the country that their contribution is almost nil? That is a very important part of the discourse. You will need to listen to that and be able to say, is that right or not? And also, we also have a situation where in our country, where people believe that it's only through connection. If you don't have connection, you cannot get anything done. And I speak to people I know that they've been here for many years and say, be it a woman or a man, and say, how many times have you contributed to bribing any official in this country before you get a job with Daily Telegraph, or you get a job with NHS? And they will turn around and say, look, my working with NHS the last 25 years was based on my qualification, because all I did was to go and get trained as a nurse, to go and get trained as whatever technician, and you're on. I don't need to bribe anybody. And how often do you have to bribe the people that Thames Water to make sure water gets to your kitchen or to your house? And they say none. All these are the things we are lacking. And also, I've seen the passion in many of us that when you look at, some of them genuinely don't want to be here, if only because of the weather, that it's better. Some of them who are even in their 40s already started complaining about the weather, and that they would have really loved to be in Nigeria where our season is so lovely. They want to be in a place like that. So there's so many compelling differences and issues that we can start talking now for the next one day. There's going to be, is it when we talk about education, when somebody, I was watching a posting today on one of my platforms, and there's a guy who who wanted to be rampant. In fact, you would not like to be very close to him because it becomes so angry. I'm not going to use the word aggressive. It becomes very, very angry. And why is he angry? He's angry because his savings, his money with the bank has been either be siphoned or be taken away or be stolen. And he now, but the point, the one that touched me was seeing his two children. These are children of maybe 7, 8, 9 years that followed because they were thrown out of the school. And I said, thrown out of school? What are we talking about? Why did they throw anybody out of school in Holland, in Germany, a 9-year, 10-year, up to 18 years? Because going to school is free. You must go to school. The resources of every country in this world is more than enough to sustain children from certain age to age of secondary school before they disconnect them, asking them to go and follow to pursue university education or some other area of occupation. And so my concern is just two children. In the first place, yes, there's something wrong with the bank. The banking probably have taken the money from the man, from the customer, but that shouldn't have affected the children because the children, any which way, whether the man has money with a Barclays Bank or not, the children should be at school. So the point I'm making is, these are also issues that should interest some of us here tonight and say, well, look, let me talk about education. This is my experience about education. This is my security, grace, all kind of things. There are a long list of woes. They are not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to use the word woes. Not that everything is hunky-dory in Europe, but we still get relative peace of mind. We live our life. So I'm going to try one more time because I'm see whether Mr. Chris is back, whether he wants to talk to us. Like I said, on this program, all I'm looking for tonight is change the idea, change the settings. I want you who are here connected with me tonight to contribute, to voice out, talk, speak up. It's okay. Idea and what exactly is going in your mind. Otunba, the way I look at the honore, it used to be a death trap now. So say things positive, negative, then we can also get other people to say. Shortly, because of still waiting for more people to say, I'm going to go again on a short break. And when we come back, we'll continue. You're not going to sit down there. Thank you very much.
MOGBEDE o, oyin mama.
àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi náà lọ wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa, ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.
ọmọ abìrò kágó àjàní wọ̀lú tí mi yàrá ẹ̀ pẹ́kẹ́pẹ́kẹ́ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ló balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí MOGBEDE lẹ́tọ̀ ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí ó bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá fẹ́ sun nígbọ̀wọ́ abẹ́ fẹ́ polú ọjà nílẹ̀ ẹni àbí lókè òkun ẹ kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ̀nyí MOGBEDE ètò ní MOGBEDE.
Thank you very much. Welcome back to One-on-One with OTUNBA, who on the MOGBEDE Radio TV UK. Again, still waiting for my co-host to link up. The technical issue or technical problem made it to be a little bit chaotic at the beginning, but I think as time goes on, that's not going to happen again. Like I said, we're talking the truth here. I mean, on this program, on my program, I owe you to say the truth when it comes to politics, when it comes to issue of a country called Nigeria, or some other things. You might also want to talk about some other things that might not be necessarily connected with Nigeria. This is the platform where you'll be free to do so. And please, if I have a few connections now, I'm not worried because I have no doubt in my mind that at the initial stage, there was this. And please, all you need is every Friday, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock, help me and help the station to share this program. OTUNBAHOO, one-on-one with OTUNBAHOO is a very interesting guy. It's a very interesting program. So what I'm going to do is, please, I'm going to share, invite a couple of friends, because on Zoom, we can have as many people. And like I said, many people, the more people we have, the better, the merrier. And then we're all going to have opportunity to talk. You see, I'm not going to get worried yet, because I can imagine that some people do not want to say, first of all, I don't want to talk. This is Europe. You're talking, anything you say, nothing is going to be used against you. Feel free to say what you feel. Could be a word or two, and then we take it from there. Oh, welcome back, Mr. Chris. Mr. Chris, we have to explain to us when we are calling him before. I can imagine maybe he's quickly gone to the kitchen to get a cup of tea. Mr. Chris, you are welcome. Can you please unmute yourself? Mr. Chris. Oh, I thought Mr. Chris is back now. He's still not here. Well, okay. Let me continue. I thought I saw his hand because this technology. Anybody who wants to raise his hand, you need to go to one of the buttons below this platform. There's reaction. If you click on reaction, it gives you the opportunity. If I click on reaction now, it gives me the opportunity to raise up my hand. But because I'm the one talking, I don't need to raise my hand. So, and then if you click on it, it lowers your hand. So please feel free to join me in discussing issues relating to Nigeria tonight. And I have no doubt in my mind that if we are able to talk, some of our talkings can be so relevant, can also be so inviting that idea could come out of it, and so on and so forth. Like another thing, we also trying to perfect one or two things, and one of those two things is getting sponsors to promote their products and promote the station. So I'm going to go on a short break again. Don't worry, it's not too frequent. The more people we have, the longer time not to go on break. So let's go on another short break. Thank you.
MOGBEDE o, oyin mama.
àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadọ́ wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa, ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.
ọmọ abìrò kágó àjàní wọ̀lú tí mi yàrá ẹ̀ pẹ́kẹ́pẹ́kẹ́ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ló balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí MOGBEDE lẹ́tọ̀ ara ọ̀tọ̀ tó balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí ó bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá fẹ́ sun nígbọ̀wọ́ abẹ́ fẹ́ polú ọjà nílẹ̀ ẹni àbí lókè òkun ẹ kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ̀nyí MOGBEDE ètò ni MOGBEDE.
Thank you very, very much. Again, we're back again. Yes, I've been talking alone. Still talking alone sometimes does not mean something is wrong. No. You can be talking with yourself and say, why are you talking like that? I'm talking aloud. It's allowed, it's permitted. Well, it may be if people are not, one or two are not raising that, maybe I can invite people and say, I'm challenging you. Please say something. Let me start with trying with Mr. Abiola Olaife. Good evening, sir. Do you have anything to say to us?
Hello, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Well done for the wonderful program.
Thank you.
And it's a pleasure being here, being part of this. So, I mean, I know that Nigeria is a big project for all of us that we have to participate in. So there's a lot of issues which we must address. But I believe that we have to look at things from the positive side because I know as things stand now, there's a lot of things that needs to change. Or if we are to really work on the change, we have to think of what reform, what can we do to make changes. So I know as we progress in the program, we will look at several areas that really needs to change. I am without a doubt that everything in Nigeria at the moment requires change. The economy, there should be a structure in place. But realize that
I think we're having problems with Mr. Olaifa's audio.
in Nigeria, there's no structure. I mean, I contested for councillorship in
Again, as you can see, the technology.
okay.
Mr. Life, where are you calling from? Are you in Nigeria or in UK?
I'm in the UK. It's just that
See?
I'm currently driving. Maybe that's why. I think I got a call.
Oh, okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Mr. Life.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Go on.
So further to what I was saying, I mean, I was just saying that we need to start from the basis of structure. Okay. Hello.
Hello. You might need to move a little bit away from where you are. Maybe there are a lot of
yes
things. Things that are not compatible with the transmission of Zoom. You know they work differently. In fact, with telephone, you drive past some area, the line will just cut off like you are in a state
That's
of.
true. Yeah. That's true, sir.
Go on, sir.
So maybe I'll just follow on as we progress and continue to share as well. But just as I was saying, that we need to have a structure in place in Nigeria so that we have a basis for which we can lay the right foundation. Because I realize that a lot of things are just done based on everyone's discretion. So we don't really have a structure. We don't have a good security network. I think everything starts with the security as well. If we are secure, we can move about in a way where we're not afraid for our lives. And the government as well, we need to have a structure in place to ensure that whoever comes on board can continue from where the other incumbent stopped. So like I said, that I contested for councillorship in the UK, and you see that with the structure of the UK, everything is cut and paste. You don't have to come in and cancel whoever has been there before, what they've done. You don't have to cancel it. All you need to do is just progress. So we need to get to that point in Nigeria where we can progress from where things are. Because one of the problems we have in Nigeria, which I don't know why we keep doing this, if we look at Okorocha built certain things. It might have done wrong, it might have embezzled money, which is basis for another issue. You know, you can investigate, EFCC is there, But the governor that came in after Okorocha destroyed everything Okorocha did. Destroyed his estates, destroyed all the monuments he did. And I think it's just waste of resources that we don't even have. So we need to look into these things and see how we can move from here. And also the level of indiscipline among the citizens of Nigeria is just too much. Everyone wants to blame somebody for the problem. For example, your gutter is full. You are saying, oh, Buhari is not working. That's why my gutter is full. Nobody wants to take responsibility and clean the gutter. So there's so many issues we need to address, but I'm very happy with this program. We can look into this in more details and hopefully help our economy to understand. Because if we're all in the UK and we see how things are working, why can't we let people see it back home? Because it's a different ball game when you come to Nigeria. But I'll leave it to you, OTUNBA, and so as we progress, hopefully we can look into some of these issues and dissect it in more details. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, wonderful. Thank you. You see, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, and that's I'm trying to change the narrative, not to bring experts all the time. Some of us that believe that think that we know it all or we know much about the country, sometimes we discover that we don't even know all that much. So the people that are part of this program tonight might even have idea, they can shed more light, they can even take us to some other areas of life in Nigeria. Well, it may be a form of, you said you went through the process of running for councillorship in this country. Let's say the area, whether in
That's correct.
Yorkshire or how many people do you have to bribe to get into the ballot box?
Well, I mean, it's a very straightforward process. I mean, all you do is that once you belong to a particular party, you can even be independent. So you just contact the council, let them know that you are interested in running. Like in my case now, I went through the Labour Party. Let the constituent know that you want to run for the party. They'll put you forward. We have members, executive members, which I'm also part of the executive. People, and it has to be declared. You have to declare all this and how much you spend altogether. If you must spend money. So if we introduce things like this, it would help our processes. And people going in, you have to go in on the basis of being a volunteer as a leader, even though you're going to be paid, but you're not being paid because they want to compensate you. You're being paid for you to survive. Even the Prime Minister of England is there more on a voluntary basis than on the basis of the money. But in Nigeria, our politicians are there to make money. In this country, it's different. You are there. Is it the road you want to sort out? Is it people's maybe water problem, electricity problem? These are the things we want you to go there. or you realize that where we're coming from in Nigeria, people get into political power, they don't even know what they're doing. It's become more like a monarchy, where you go into power just because it is your right, it is from your ancestors or ancestral lineage or your family. Or you have to go in with the knowledge that you're going there to do something. So, and this will lack quite a lot. Because if you look at the current president of Nigeria, he came into power 2015. It took him 6 months to choose even ministers, people to work with him. It clearly lacks direction. He started on the wrong basis, doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, that's why you see that we're having issues, security issues, X-Men, and so many issues in Nigeria. The president doesn't even say nothing. They don't even know what direction to take. Clearly, they have no clue. They don't know where we're going. So we need to start addressing this and start looking at the things we have here. And hopefully with us being from Europe, we need to start helping that country to grow. Because I've noticed that even the populace don't understand what governance is all about. They don't understand even how to participate themselves. So hopefully with this program, as more and more people listen, we'll be able to help them to understand and hopefully develop the country a bit better. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very, very much, Mr. Laifa. And I want to wish you huge and plenty success in your quest to becoming,
Thank you, sir.
I don't want to be hypocrite. I don't want to say things that might not be possible. It's just like me joining a prayer session to see somebody from Osogbo to become the king of it. That probably not going to happen. Even if people are so good in prayers, in fasting, they might probably not going to achieve that in another 1,000 years. Because the list of people who are already royal, who want to become king of England, they are so long that before it gets to somebody from Osogbo. So I know chances of a Nigerian British, a Ghana British to become a prime minister is just like, may not be too far away, but it's also a possibility. What is with the system? Is that not possible?
It is possible. In fact, if you look at the structure of the UK now, I mean, I was in a conference recently, and I will share an experience. So I was seated next to an Asian, and he decided. I mean, we were having a chat, and so we're talking about the structure of the UK. So this Asian man is a leader. I think he's from Bangladesh or something like that. So he was saying that the leaders, the Bangladeshis, British Bangladesh in the UK, they held a meeting and they decided that they want their women to have more children in the UK. So I was asking him, why? Why do you want to have more children? He was even saying that the meeting was to compensate women who can have 8 children. So I said, why do you want your woman to have 8 children? He said, because the target is in the next 50 years, they want to take over the whole of Britain and be the prime minister and be that's the Asian community, Indians, Pakistan, and the rest. They want to be the prime minister. They want to be ministers. They want their children to be everywhere, NHS, everywhere in the UK. And that's why they are happy that even in the UK now, everyone is turning gay and lesbian. They know they're not going to have children. So if they have children, they can inject their people everywhere in the UK. And if you look at things now, it's already happening. Look at the Secretary of State, Indian. Look at even the second man, Chancellor of the SQ, Sunak, is an Indian. And they are planting Asians everywhere. But I realize that we from Africa and other parts, we are not ready for this. We don't even have a community. We are so wide apart the way we are in our country. So with this, it reckons that in the next 50 years, everywhere you go will be Asians. And now, one of the, as I said, is that they want to buy the whole of England. And if you look at it, all the houses all around us in London, all the big mega businesses is owned by Asians. They are buying everywhere. So if we are not careful, and even if you look at businesses now all over the world, Microsoft is headed by Asian, Google is headed by Asian. So we blacks, Africans, Nigeria, we call ourselves the giant of Africa. We are the biggest. I mean, over 200 million people. We have to sit down and form a community to help our country first and to help ourselves everywhere we find ourselves. But I realize that we are so far away from ourselves. We are so comfortable with our £8 per hour care job. that's where they want us to be, but we are not also ready to progress and see ourselves. The reason I stood for the last election was because the whites, it was an MP that called me and said, the white people are taking decisions for us, black people, and we are running away. We are running away from our responsibility. Say, for example, they ban things like snail and gari from coming to Nigeria. They believe that it is not good for consumption because they don't understand what gari and snail can do for us. To them, it is poison. Gari is poison. But if we have black people who can say, gari is made from cassava, we used to plant it in our farm, we can bring it here, it's good food, it will help us, then it will help them to make right decision. But if in their cabinet that's making decision on our behalf is all white people, we are completely displaced. Now, Indians, Asians generally, they have themselves in all this cabinet. They can speak for themselves. We are not where. Where are we? We are being carejob. We are not motivating ourselves. We are not even building our children to sit in those seats. So it's important that we begin to realize that we have a very big role to play, not just in Nigeria, even here in the UK, so that everywhere things are being said, decisions are being taken about us. Because now, the white people, I mean, look at what's happening in America. They still see us like the problem. When they say a black man, they see a criminal. That's the way they see it. When they see a black man, they see a rapist. When they see a black man, they see a killer. When they see a black man, they see a fraudster, 419. We need to start training our children to realize that they have a place to hold. We shouldn't be training them only for their professional and personal money in their pocket. We also have to see them that they need to participate in the economy. And this is what made me go there too, that we need to be there. We need to start taking decisions for ourselves. This country now, maybe in the last 30 years, we are not as much as we are in England, but now it's a lot of us. And we are all displaced everywhere. There's no community. We don't have good association. Start an association. All we want to do is fight and just scatter everything. So it's important that we start living together. So thank you very much, sir.
It's my pleasure. Please do not go away because I'm definitely going to come back to you. Let me try see whether Mr. Chris is there now. If he can chip in and contribute to what Councillor Abiola Olaifa just said. Are you there, Mr. Chris? If Mr. Chris is not there, let me try. I can see another person who earlier on logged in early. Yeye Adejoke, are you there? Do you want to contribute one or two things to what Councillor Abiola Olaifa said? Yeye Adejoke, can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute Yeye Adejoke? Is she there? Hello? Okay, if Yeye Adejoke is not there, let me, I've tried Mr. Chris, is just like he logged on, he's not there, which is fine. That's the beauty of, he made his presence known twice, logged on 2 devices, and we can see his picture, but we can't hear his voice. I have another gentleman who also logged on. Mr. Latunde, now, Mr. Latunde, I can see that you logged on from where I'm not too sure, but I can imagine you hearing what we are discussing. The topic of tonight, this is the program called One-on-One with OTUNBAHOO, and I'm the presenter, OLABODE. Now, we've been talking about what is going on in Nigeria, and that could come in different formats. Do you have any contribution? Do you want to say one or two things to us, Mr. Latunde, and tell us where you call him, where you are logged on from? Mr. Latunde, are you there? Mr. Latunde, he is not there also. Let me try Onyade. Onyade, good evening. This is the program called One-on-One with OTUNBAHOO, and we've been talking about Nigeria as we speak, as of today. Do you have anything you want to contribute, you want to say about the country, or contribute to what Councillor Abiola Olaifa have just said about us, because I see a lot of indictment there, but I just don't want to take too much control of today's talk. So that's why I'm asking. Let's go here. Tell us where you are calling from.
Sorry, I'm at work. I just log in.
Okay, thank you very much. Are you in the UK or are you from somewhere in Africa or somewhere? Hello? I can see. I think I'm not too sure of the whether it's a he or she, because that's Pinyade is both goes for both male and female. Until when we hear the proper connection, then we will. But I do appreciate Onyade wanted to contribute. Keep trying until when you get the setting right. Yes, I have Olatunde. Olatunde, do you want to say something about the program, about the, what we just heard from Councillor Abiola Olaifa? Olatunde, are you there? Well, and Yeye Adejoke, are you there? If it's not there, that's fine. That's fine. Now, Alagwa Abiola Olaifa, I'm too glad you log on to this program. And I've said this many times. At the end of the day, it's not how many of us that really matters. It could be 2, 3, or 4 of us that have what it takes, and when we are able to contribute genuinely. And as you can see, in a country of 69 million, it's only about 300 something that represent us. So what you said to me make a lot of this, and it's going to go a long way, because you spoke my mind. You said it all. You said it all. I think we've just been joined by another councillor. I'm going to come back to you, Councillor Olaifa. Councillor Martin Setting, I don't know whether I called your name right. Good evening, sir. Where are you calling? Do you want to contribute to what we are discussing here tonight? Can you please unmute yourself?
I can, and I really wanted to listen first before speaking. A wise man, and indeed women, have always taught that to listen first of all. The history and the current affairs of Nigeria is of interest to me. It's of interest to me because I'm a politician but based in London. But within my ward, the majority African population are Nigerians, and I hear so many stories of what is happening in that great country. And what I fear is that the traps that was laid for the country by the British when the country gained independence, those traps the communities are falling into. So I hear stories of the experiences of the Hausa, the Fulani, the Igbo, the Yoruba, and other peoples of Nigeria. But I always say to them, please, we need to unite. Only through unity can we find strength. So we have to find a new grace, a new means of communication, a new narrative that allows us to occupy the same space and flourish together. So for me, this is such an important discussion you're having, Nigeria, and how to save that great country. So I want to listen and learn from you. I want to listen and learn.
Thank you very much, Mr. Councillor Martin. That's exactly what's going on in my mind when I change the narrative to tonight's program. This program is every Friday. I look forward to having you again, and I'm going to send you the link. If you leave your address on the chat box, so I'll be able to know how to contact you, so I can send you an invite, and then you can please send it to. You see, because this is a discussion as we need many to talk about problems. You know, there's no country that hasn't got their own problems. We have problems. But you see, my own take on issue of whether we can fix the country as it is now is completely, might be a little bit different from what other people want to hear. And I'll tell you why. Here we have a country that has been operating since the last 100 and something years. And then in between, we discover that there's so many anomalies. And when you have anomalies, even in the body, as a human being, you want to go and see who? You want to go and see your doctor. You know, if you have a problem with your car, you want to go and seek advice from the mechanic or engineer to have a look at it. Nigeria, many people who have so much love and interest in the country have made effort upon effort, time and time, try to get things right. But we also have part of the country who are stubbornly, they're very, very stubborn. As far as they think they're stubborn, they refuse to want it to come to the drawing board. They refuse to want it to talk because as far as they're concerned, they see the constitution that governs the country is more on their side. They are taking advantage of that to oppress. I'm using the word, I select my words. I select my word. They're taking advantage of a very fallacy, a very not properly put together constitution. Because any constitution in any world has to come from the people. It has to be the people's banded messages, wish, aspirations, dreams, and so on. You cannot just get a constitution from the source of about 100 people, and you cannot. Yes, 100 people are going to represent the people, but you must take that constitution through the people. We, as we speak, and I'm sure Councillor Olaifa will bear witness to, that we have a constitution that is just not working. We have a constitution that needs to have been reformed many years back. But because of the kind of people we are, we refuse to want to talk about it. We refuse to address issues. Plenty of issues that are making life impossible for our people. And in the process, a segment of the country believe they can do whatever they like. And that's a big concern for me. I don't know whether Mr. Life, I want to say something about this again.
Yeah, most certainly, sir. Most certainly, I really agree with you because the biggest problem we have in Nigeria with our constitution is that, you know, even though with constitution in every economy, we should always amend to reflect newer innovations, new things that's coming up. But in Nigeria, we amend our constitution only to favor certain individuals because of their own greed and selfishness. I mean, if we remember that we did the national conference where representatives were sent from every state of Nigeria to form a new constitution. Yes, to do a new constitution. We've done that constitution now since 2014. Nothing has been done about it. So it's not been implemented because those that be the cabals in Nigeria know that if you put that into place, they're going to be in serious trouble. All those places they hit from, they get money from, all those, lack of respect for ourselves, and all those money they siphon to their own individual bank accounts in Nigeria and abroad. All of it will stop. And they don't want that to happen. So that constitution has not been put into place up to now. So for us to be able to progress in Nigeria, I personally think that the number one thing we need to do is respect. We do not have respect for ourselves, respect for individuals, respect for our nation, respect for the community we are from, respect for the elders, respect for the children is not there. The only thing we have respect for is money. And any economy that has respect only for money. I mean, if you come up now, even this program we are doing, some people in Nigeria will look at us, these are hungry people. Give them 1 billion, they will shut up. That's the mentality. And it happens over and over in Nigeria. So when we look beyond that, we will begin to have an economy that works. Even if you go to religious houses, which should be basis where we can fall back to and say, oh, and at least the truth should come out of here. Religious houses in Nigeria now is the worst. The pastors, if you are rich, if you come and say, Pastor, this is the money I bring, they put you in the front seat. They don't respect you as an individual. So we need that respect to cut across Nigeria, and we need not start on the basis of who you are in terms of your education. It's good for us to respect education and respect what you've achieved individually, but we should respect ourselves. And that's something you have here. My neighbor in the UK may have 2 billion in their bank account. Nobody knows, because we respect ourselves. Hello, hi. Everybody respect themselves. The right you have in the UK is the right everybody has. And this has to cut across in Nigeria as well. We should not be treating somebody differently and the other person differently. So, and this is the problem, like the Fulani issue that we are talking about here. So when the Fulani thinks they're more important than every other part of Nigeria, how do we progress from here? The Yoruba thinks they're important. The Igbo said they're the one more important. No, we are all equal. We are all Nigerians, and we should respect ourselves so that we can progress. Thank you, sir.
We're going to go on a short break again, and then when we come back, I want to throw the floor to everybody to contribute again. If not, I'm going to keep going to Mr. Life and to Councillor Martin said. Don't go away. Go on a short break.
MOGBEDE o, oyin mama.
Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadọ́, wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
Ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa, ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.
Agogode ọmọ abìrò kágó Àjàní wọ̀lú tí mi yàrá ẹ̀ pẹ́kẹ́pẹ́kẹ́ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ló balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí MOGBEDE lètò àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tó balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí ó bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá fẹ́ sùn nígbọ̀wọ́ abẹ́ fẹ́ polú ọjà nílẹ̀ ẹni àbí lókè òkun ẹ kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ̀nyí MOGBEDE ètò ní MOGBEDE.
Thank you very much for being there. Now, we've been talking about on and about Nigeria, what is going on, and it's difficult to believe that Nigeria is in good shape. And when you say something is not in good shape, the natural rules, the natural engagement is to find solution to putting things right. We as human beings, we want to be in good shape. At first, the first part of what we want to be is to have a good and healthy life. I put a very high premium on my health, and I also try to do what I can do. But again, I cannot do it all. I'm very, very happy to this country for being there for me at 74. At the age of 74, there's a lot of support I'm getting from the country, and I do appreciate it. And those are the things that people of my age groups in Nigeria, that in fact, it's a struggle for them to have 3 square meters, not to talk of even having any sensible or reasonable Medicare. Some of them are living in such a poverty that you cannot even explain it to your children here. And there are many other things that are terribly, terribly wrong in Nigeria. Having said all this, I want to ask Mr. Martin again. What do you think, even though I have my own answer, what do you think we can do better? How do you think we can change this narrative? How do you think we can change all this idea of getting things better? Because, Mr. Martin, if you look at the country called UK, Scotland, Wales, and so on and so forth, and also Holland or Luxembourg, a very small place, and many other great countries in Europe. What do you think they are doing differently than African countries? Because when you look at the 57 or 58 countries in Africa, they're yet to point out one country that successfully can show that they have a good governance. What do you think should change, Mr. Martin?
Whoa, a lot of responsibility there. I think it's an important observation to make that maybe with the exception of Ethiopia, all the countries are relatively recent creation. Nigeria, just like most of the countries, are the result of the Berlin Conference held by the colonial powers that created the country Nigeria and determined its boundaries, regardless of the traditional boundary that existed before. Okay? That's the first observation. The second observation is that Nigeria is a baby country. If you were to compare Nigeria with Britain, we have to go back 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 years. The Britons were very warlike people. Yeah, why we have the United Kingdom is not as a result of peace treaties. It is because of the warlike English. Yeah, and they conquered Wales. They conquered Scotland. They conquered Northern Ireland, or Ireland, I should say, the island of Ayr. Yeah, and so Britain has gone through that war period of where one nation conquered and dominated the other, and have now created this framework we now call Britain. Nigeria is a very young country, and what we're experiencing, in my view, are growing pains. Okay? So Nigeria has to go through a process of reclaiming its soul. You know? Not the image created by invaders, okay, who still are like leeches on the country. Okay, Nigeria has to find its soul, and will only find its soul if you apply African-centered solutions. Okay, and by that I mean, and I know that this is sensitive in some respects, but I've got to say it, that the solutions, when found, are found through culture and tradition. It is not found through, forgive me, Christendom or Islam. Okay, I believe that the reasons why the continent as a whole, there are so many, it is so diverse, there's so many different peoples, it's because through tradition, and the tradition is that peace is better than war. Okay, and the problem with Nigeria currently is that it's been dictated to by external powers. Okay? And at this juncture, at least, it has not been possible to shake off the yoke of the past so they can build a new future. So I say to many of the Yoruba, and we've got no Fulani in my ward, in my political ward, but I've got one Hausa family. They're very quiet, I must say. Very, very quiet. Okay? To have them all in one room is in itself, I'm told, a unique experience for them. Because traditionally, they do not cooperate. But I hope through my urging that cooperation is possible. So first of all, I found food to be a useful step forward. So you need to, it's not a reconciliation council, but I believe that a narrative, you need a narrative that identifies what's in common. So it will not be the religion. Let me make it clear. It will not be the Western religion. That will not be the area of commonality. It will be founded in culture and tradition, history, or written history. That's where the commonality, I believe, exists. Okay, it could be found quite possibly in running in parallel in the languages, original languages spoken, and the common words that are familiar across the various dialects. Okay? We've got to find what is common, and once you identify what is common, you use that as the basis for the further expansion on your inclusive, novel means as a step forward. But for the gentlemen, for you gentlemen, though, we are all stubborn. Okay. Okay? We're all stubborn. Okay? I'm used to handling stubborn people. Don't misunderstand. We're always stubborn. Okay? And we all believe what we believe to be true. And therefore, to give up any of our truth, it's mistakenly, many believe you diminish oneself.
Yeah.
But in fact, unity is strength. You gain something by sharing a part of yourself with others, with the intention that you want your children to have a better Nigeria,
Let me interject you. Let me interject you.
Of course.
I would have really loved to quickly go to Councillor Life, but I just want to disagree with you slightly and ask you a question. The question is, what do you think? What is the magic one? What exactly is UK doing differently? I don't want to take the argument of Nigeria or Ghana or Zimbabwe. It's a young country. I have my reasons why I disagree with that completely. But the question is, what do you think? Like I think I asked the question before. What are they doing differently that African countries, especially Nigeria? Let's say tonight with Nigeria, what's this country doing? That everything is working. Listen, Councillor Martin, that in this country, UK, we are talking about, yeah, there's no nationality in the whole universe that is not present in the UK. You agree? Mm-hmm. There's no language in the whole universe that is not present in the UK. There's no kind of ethnicity, all whatever you want to culture, everything you want to talk about, that is not present in the UK. Excuse me. They're all here. Then you will hardly hear from the Hindu, the Sikh, the Muslim, the Christian, the Jewish, or whatever, talking about marginalization. They don't, because this is a system that binds them together. Why? The question to you now is, why are we not doing that in Africa? Mm-hmm. What do you think? Because if we are not doing what they are doing here, the end result is going to remain chaotic as we have it in Africa. What's your take on that? Mm.
Okay, I know you disagreed when I said that the nation is young.
Yes,
it's only recently received. Okay.
If you want me to quickly envelope it on master, I'll take you through examples of other nations that have gone through whether slightly colonized by this great country called UK, and today they are world powers.
I want to tell you.
Yes, and I want to tell you. We can list so many of them. But I want to tell you.
Give me one.
China went through. America was also one time, maybe not 100% colony of, but they went through all this. And look at even Canada as we speak. In fact, as we speak, it's still more or less indirectly colony of UK. Am I right? Now, but the point here is this. I think all along, the problem we have in Africa, it has to do with the kind of people we are. Because in this country, there are three things that is governing all countries that are civilized. Those three words are rule of law. You can be anybody you want. But then talking about we are young, I will quickly say to you that if you are giving £1 million tomorrow, if you want a lottery, I'm sure, Mr. Councillor Martin, you will know what to do with the money, and won't you? Mm-hmm. Would that need to be that you have to be my age, 74, before you need to quickly buy an additional 8 and make the 74 to be old? Of course not. But you will know what to do with the money. We have the resources that we choose not to do what we have to do. We have the opportunity of making young old, making young current, but we choose not to do it. Corruption has got nothing to do with the number of years. We have chosen, if Nigeria, for example, if 36 governors wake up tomorrow and say, you know what, like it happened in America, 1776, 16 sheriffs turn up in the morning and say, well, look, we cannot continue to be living in jungle. We want this country to be a country of laws, not country of heat. Am I right? Am I making sense? So
you are, but I think you're being unfair, though. I think you're being unfair. If I may, though, I think you're being unfair.
I'm coming to you, Mr. Olaifa, please, in a minute. Okay, go on.
You are being unfair. And why are you being unfair? I thought you were going to cite not Canada, but Australia, you see. I think in both cases, both countries are benefiting from investment from Europe. That's the only reason why those countries are as wealthy as they are, because they're benefited from investment from Europe. Just think of the war, for example, Germany and Japan. The only reason why those two countries are where they are now is because of American investment, so-called Marshall Plan. Billions upon tens of billions were invested in the manufacturing base, education, the health sector in those countries. Okay? That did not happen in any African country. You simply said you are now independent, but in actual fact, Britain and France still hold sway over the politics of the country, and still hold sway over the, use that wonderful the political term, over the means of production. And so if there is a solution, and I'm also a radio host as well, and I'll share the details with you maybe later. Yeah, I think if there is a solution, it is the aristocracy and those who are educated. If there's a fault, that's where the fault is. The aristocracy have yet to come together and espouse a vision for Nigeria. Those who are educated have yet to come together with genuine unity, which transcends the inter-community identity, but recognize that they are educated and they have a skill that the nation requires. Okay. It is that's where the fault is, but I believe the fault begins with the aristocracy, those who are kings, queens, chiefs. It is there. That's where the fault is, because it's those people that determine the attitude of the masses. And if they don't share a vision for Nigeria, great Nigeria, as all of my radio shows have depicted Nigeria, great Nigeria, okay, and they don't share that vision for the country, it is therefore a great challenge for the masses to share that vision if the aristocracy fail to do so.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Life. Let me come back to you. What have you got to say to this discourse?
Oh, thank you very much, sir. Well, Mr. Martin, I know that what you've said is quite legitimate in terms of we've been colonized and we have this Western mentality in the way we run our affairs in Nigeria. But I think we have got our independence now for the past 61 years, or going to 61 years, since 1960. So I'm sure by now, if we know what we're doing, we should be able to run our economy ourselves. I mean, talking about investment, Nigeria at a point was the 5th largest producer of petrol in the world. The problem we have, as postulated by even one of our past leaders, President Gowon, one of the past presidents, he said, the problem we have is not money. The problem we have is how to spend the money. So finances is not the problem in Nigeria. You see, in Nigeria, individuals, some individuals in Nigeria are richer than Nigeria. And these are not legitimate money. These are money they got. I mean, remember Mobutu Sese Seko. We remember how much he was richer than his country. So the problem with Nigeria has gone beyond, oh, we are quite new. We are no longer new.
At all.
Singapore broke away from Malaysia in 1965. They struggled, they had their struggle, their teaching period. From the 90s, Singapore transformed. Now, at the moment, it's one of the best places to live in the world, Singapore.
Yep.
That's an example. Let's take Dubai. Dubai was a desert up to the 90s. At about 1990, Dubai started the transformation. The whole world, if you haven't seen Dubai, you haven't seen anywhere. The whole world wants to go to Dubai now. They are the center of technology. At the moment, they only started in the 1990, about 1994. So if we keep sitting on the basis of, oh, we are still quite young, is it after we get to 100 years that we're not going to be young again? You see, the problem with Nigeria is that we're not going in the right direction. I know that there's going to be teaching problem. We're going to have issues here and there. But if we are moving in the right direction, we know that things will change. But in Nigeria, we're going backwards. I'm talking about the culture, which I think is very important that Mr. Martin mentioned. In Nigeria, we don't believe in our culture. We don't dress like a Nigerian anymore. We don't speak our language. When I was in school in Nigeria, they beat me when I speak my language, Yoruba. They call it vernacular. That why are you speaking Yoruba? They beat me. So if in my country I can't speak my language, English is more important than my language. So these colonial issues needs to come out. I mean, we're not being ruled by British anymore. Even though they have influence, we still follow a lot of things they do. An average person in Nigeria wants to speak like an American. If you want to hear the most adulterated American dialect, go to Lagos. You hear one Nagana, one Nagana. They don't want to speak their language. I have a friend that lives in Lagos. 4 of his children cannot speak any of the local dialect, only English. So these things are not what British has put into us. It is our level of stupidity. It is where, okay, in Nigeria now, I was talking about respect. Every Nigerian wants to be rich. However, if it is to kill somebody, if it is corruption, if it is put somebody in a place of power in Nigeria, one person will put the money of millions of people in his own pocket. How can one person put money of 1 million people? Don't you think we are crazy? It has nothing to do with colonial masters. They've left us a long time ago. We do not have community. The community, the Hausas don't like the Igbos don't like the Hausas, this, and all that. I'll give you an example of myself. My girlfriend that was meant to marry in those days, my father told me, if you marry that girl because she's Igbo, I'm going to disown you. So this kind of mentality needs to change. We need to progress. We need to respect ourselves. We need to see ourselves as a community. You are an Hausa, you are a Yoruba. An Hausa man will never trust an Igbo man. An Igbo man will never trust a Yoruba man. All this needs to change. We need to respect ourselves and see ourselves as individuals. This is the way where we can progress. If we continue at the rate we are now, I'm telling you, 500 years' time, we'll be where we are now. I wrote in one of my articles that I see Africa being extinct in the next 500 years. If we continue like this, when I mean extinct, we'll go back to the trade. And it's happening now. Our kids are dying in the desert. They're dying in the water. They want to come to the West. Even if it is to be packing shit, if it is to be cleaning the floor, let me just cross over. They are going to Libya from Nigeria. They see Libya like going to America. So for this to progress, we need to appreciate what belongs to us and start on the path of reformation. If we don't, I bet you, we will just be because one of the problems we have that I've diagnosed over and over is that everyone wants to know who to blame. Let's blame our leaders. Let's blame Jesus. Let's blame the devil. The Muslim will blame Jesus. The Christian will blame Muhammad. All this passing blame. Children want to blame their parents for not being rich. The parents want to blame the economy. Blame. But what are we doing to correct these blames? Nothing. If anything, Nigerians are the most intelligent people in this world. I will say that again. But we are intelligent in corruption. If you want to know how I can take money from your pocket automatically, even use digital platforms and all that, go to Nigeria. They will teach you how to do that. So if we're intelligent to do this, you think we're not intelligent to run our economy? They know if Nigeria works. Some people, okay, for example, electricity. Some people know that if we have electricity today, they are going to go broke. All their group will go broke. They import generators so that we don't have electricity. I gave a proposal once to the managing director of NEPA on solar power and how we can do what is called feed-in tariff, where people will have solar in their houses and we can use whatever is left for the national grid, where we can incorporate that into the national grid and electricity will begin to flow. The MD in those days told me, this thing, it's not that it cannot work, but we won't let it work because so many people will go hungry. The president does not want this to happen. The country does not want this to happen. So you tell me, when we start from default of we don't want good things to happen, how can we progress from here? So importantly, we need to make changes. We should not give anything necessary. The British are not the excuse. They left us 1960. We should be wise enough by now to know our direction. And if we don't know our direction, then there's nobody to be blamed but ourselves. Thank you very much. That's my submission on that.
And my add-ons to that, before I go back to Councillor Martin, is again, I was trying to tell our audience that the way it's done in Europe is nothing different, because here in Europe, you don't go to consult the oracles, you don't go to consult the pastors, the reverends, the bishops, the imams, to get things work, to make sure that the corruption is completely not acceptable. There's certain things that need to be done, and all that I'm talking about is something to do with the structure. The structure of this country is so good that you can have a clever dog to operate if the prime minister is on lunch. So, but before it comes, the dog can start running the country clockwise. So most of this country we're talking about choose not to try that system, like Councillor Olaifa just said now, that allowing 24 hours flow of light will affect very handful. And that now takes me to what kind of people are we? We kind of people that just don't love any other person than ourselves. We care about ourselves, we care about our immediate family. It has to be my wife, my children, any other person, I don't care about them. And these are the things. And I also say part of this discussion tonight that I'm grateful to this country, because at the age of 74, there are a lot of things the country is going to support me with my little input when I was working or whatever. And I'm getting, and I know colleagues of mine who are in my age group for the last 9 years that have not even seen a penny from their pension. So all this together will not make me to agree with Mr. Martin that because we are young, when I know the youngest among us know what to do with money. And when you look at the billions of money that are available to our youth, but we choose to distribute it among very few of us. So my submission also, or my concluding part is, if we continue to allow, if we do not put in place the same structure here and the same structure here, we do not need to go back 10, 15 years. We can do it today. If we agree that it's going to be rule of law, nobody's going to be above law. If you, Mr. Mattis, if you are given a contract to set up a radio station, you go ahead and do it. Do not steal the money. You steal the money, you're going to be in trouble. And Councillor Olaifa also said, in Singapore today, you cannot take the public, you cannot take public money. You're going to be in trouble. But we allow it. So what's exactly is different? So the difference between Africa and here is because they're in civilized country, they are using a structure, they're using a system that makes it impossible to retard, to make it impossible for development. We agree to do the opposite. So that's my addition to Mr. Olaifa. Well, again, unfortunately, because of time, we're probably going to gradually bring this session to an end. And like I said, for those who did not join us again, I'm sorry it was the technical hitch that brought all that in. But I can assure you that next week, there's going to be a similar People's Parliament where everybody will be able to contribute. Because I have no doubt in my mind that we have a lot to. Can you imagine so much lecture? I read political science and law in this country, and so much input for both councillors. It also have already widened, already giving me a better knowledge of how to. But even though I know that what we are missing is the rule of law, we choose not to put rule of law in place. If we put rule of law in place, you will not leave a 7 or 8-year-old chap selling pure water on the high street of Lagos. It's not possible. You will not deny anybody basic things of life. We do that with impunity and nothing happens. So I want to thank everybody again for coming. I would like to have details of Mr. Olaifa and Councillor Mark. If you can put that in the chat box for me, that would be fantastic how we can get you. And then we can continue this discussion some other time. For those who did not talk today, maybe for some reasons, I also still want to thank you very much. But before we go, let's have a quick advert again. So I will look forward to see details from Councillor Martin and then Councillor Olaifa. If you don't mind, you can leave your numbers in the chat box so I can get in touch with you. Is that okay? All right.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Right. We're going to go on a short break and then we'll do a quick roundup.
Ìrètí mo kọ́kọ́ bá wọn ṣe nígbà náà à ń pè ní báyé.
MOGBEDE o, oyin mama.
Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadọ́, wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
Ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa. Ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.
Abiro kago Àjàní wọ̀lú tí mi yàrá pẹ́kẹ́pẹ́kẹ́ ètò káàrọ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ ló balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí MOGBEDE lètò àrà ọ̀tọ̀ tó balẹ̀ gùdẹ̀ sórí ìkànnì tá a wà yìí ó bẹ́ẹ̀ bá wá fẹ́ sun nígbọ̀wọ́ abẹ́ fẹ́ polú ọjà nílẹ̀ ẹni àbí lókè òkun ẹ kàn sí wa lórí àwọn ẹ̀rọ ìbánisọ̀rọ̀ wa wọ̀nyí MOGBEDE ètò ní MOGBEDE.
Well, thank you very, very much. I want to appreciate everybody. It's been my pleasure. And like I said, this program is called a one-on-one with OTUNBAHOO. I've been doing it for how many years now? Many years. And with my experience tonight, and looking forward to working with other stakeholders, I might have to probably revisit. I might have to go back to the drawing board again to look at how best to rename or reshape, redesign, rearrange this program, because it looks like might get more input from people, and who knows how far all this can go. Thank you very much. Councillor Olaifa, please, you can stay when all are gone. I need to have your number, and that Councillor, I know the other people have their numbers, I think, and Councillor Martin. Thank you very much for coming to join me tonight on one-on-one with OTUNBA. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Ìrètí mo kọ́kọ́ bá wọn ṣe nígbà náà à ń pè ní báyé.
MOGBEDE o, oyin mama.
Àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi dáadọ́, wọ́n ní ká má fi ọjọ́ orí wa sí o.
Ọmọ Òṣogbo ni bàbá wa. Ọmọ Òṣogbo lèmi náà.